Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sammy Leggy here, representing TeamJVS. Here, you guys, another review. This is from TIFF 2025, and I'm talking about the 50th anniversary of Toronto International Film Festival. I'm here to talk about a new Netflix film, Train Dreams. Train Dreams, whether you knew it or not, this was the talk of the town for Sundance. Amazing stellar cast, amazing director, and a very interesting period piece. But let me go and outline some of the cast members. So first, you got Joel Edgerton playing the role of Robert, who's the main protagonist. Main story surrounds him and his family. Felicity Jones played the role of Gladys, his wife. You got Carrie Congdon. You got Will Patton, Will S. Macy, William H. Macy, Nathaniel Arkanad, Clifton Collins Jr., and a slew of other amazing actors and actresses. So, first off, this movie is very real. It's very visceral. It feels as though, based on the era and when everything was taking place, I mean, they're trying to go and just build railroads, and there's a war going and looming in the background, but you don't really know necessarily who Robert is as a person. And as the story moves forward, you kind of get an understanding that he is a good soul, and that he does want to do the right thing, and he does love his family, and that's all he really kind of ultimately cares about. And he takes some bumps and scrapes along the way, but his whole point is to try to make it. And when you start going and unpacking, like, um, a person that's within that pocket of time, and kind of the things that he had to do, he had to see. There was a situation in the movie where, like, a Native American person was kind of like being like thrown around, and um, there's also a moment. This sucks. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sam Leggy here, representing TeamJVS. Here, you guys, another movie review. This is from TIFF 2025, and I'm talking about the 50th anniversary of Toronto International Film Festival. I'm here to talk about Sundance's hit film, Train Dreams. Train Dreams will be debuting on Netflix and in limited theaters in a very short amount of time. But let's go ahead and kind of unpack the cast. You got Joel Edgerton playing the role of the main lead. It's Robert. Felicity Jones playing the role of Gladys, his wife. Carrie Congdon, Will Patton, William H. Macy, Nathaniel Arcand, um, Clifton Collins Jr., and a slew of other amazing actors and actresses. But let's go ahead and kind of unpack the background of what this is really about. So you got Joel Edgerton's character, who plays the role of Robert. He is a man just trying to survive, really trying to make his mark on the world, to try to survive in the era that he's in. He is working to cut down trees, and he's also working to go and work on the railroad system during this time, this in between time of the 20th century, where it's kind of like they are moving away from the war, and they're also trying to build. And the movie kind of surrounds his struggle as a man to not just provide for his family, but also try to get back home. I think one of the things that we know in this day and age is that it's really hard to not deal with work-life balance. Like, you're working all these countless hours to try to attain enough money to be able to justify the means that you have for your family. Well, back then, it's kind of like, for him, if he decides to go to work for extended amount of time for pay, he may be gone for weeks, maybe even months. And so he's got, a young baby, and his wife is very devoted to him. But at the same time, like, they have a house that literally they founded together, and she's left there on her own. And of course, we've seen that play out by the numbers, but the way they handled it from a storytelling standpoint in this film, it's really intimate. It's really serious. I feel like there's never any moments of levity in this film. I don't really recall finding moments where I laughed or kind of felt like, oh wow, this is this like it's just straight into the point. And I think, to the way that they handle the storytelling of it, it feels like this is like an eyewitness account of somebody else's life that's during this era. One thing that I think they do a really good job of is, I feel like they are actually in the woods. I know that sounds really weird, but a lot of movies nowadays, try to handle like, you know, CG and kind of put you in the backyard somewhere. Like I feel like all these different scenes and the cinematography behind it is capturing in the wild, capturing at nighttime, during the daytime, everything. Like the night shots, you see everything that's going on. The day shots, when you know they're working on trees and whatnot, you feel this impending doom or danger that at any given moment something could fall, somebody could get hurt. And I think that's a really pivotal thing to make sure you feel like every time he decides to go out that door to go to work, he may not come back. And on top of that, like the movie tackles some very harsh topics, um, life, death, loss, redemption, faith, like all these different aspects are handled and tackled in this film, which is why structurally this is one of the better films this year. Like there's a lot of different themes that happen. Like there's a character in William H. Macy's that he plays when he goes and gets connected with the character Robert that Joel Edgerton is going, and you find out different levels of kind of who his character is, Mr. Peoples, and it's really beautiful. Like there's some really beautiful moments and scenes. And even the love story and the chemistry and connection between Felicity Jones and Joel Edgerton is so natural and real. You instantly could connected. Will Patton, he's kind of unrecognizable in this movie, which is in a good way. Everybody was here to play. Everybody was making sure that they're collaborating for the good of the team. As far as the film is what I mean. Things I didn't like. There were moments where I kind of just felt like, really, this is pulverizing. Like I was like, we're kind of waiting in this scene for a very long time. We're not going anywhere. So it's not to say that it wasn't paced. It was an intentional moment. A few moments where that felt like that in this film. Um, but I do think that how they handled um the outlook on what this actually means and what this person is actually having to deal with. It reminds me of kind of like a Job kind of story, just because, you know, with work-life balance and then him also having to come overcome like a lot of physical stuff. Um, it was good. It was really good. And I think that it feels very real. So I think the script is tight. It's just a matter of there are moments where I feel like there are pockets of time that it could have been transitioned or changed. But as far as acting is concerned, everybody's giving 1,000%. They're doing an amazing job in this film, and I think that from Clint Bentley's directing style, I think it lends itself into this, and I think that he's makes some really smart choices more so than not. And I would rest this at a 7.5 or that out of 10. I highly recommend you go and check out Train Dreams. It may not be for everybody from just the gap of time and the things you gotta have to kind of sort through, but is really good and I highly recommend it. So I'll talk to you guys later on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace, people.